Okay, a little quick video. Today, thinking about loading some stuff up and going over to a buddy of mine's swap meet. Hopefully you guys can see that. I posted it on the page too. Free spaces, free parking. Could be some cool cars. Been a friend of mine our whole lives. Matter of fact, he had the white Camaro you guys seen when Rusty Beavers and them come down Rusty Roof. Anybody here, you guys already know who he is. Sells a lot of muscle cars. Buys and sells a lot of cars. Great guy. Been friends since we were kids. Speaking of which, so later today, I'm going to introduce you guys to Chris if he comes in today, and I think he is. That's been painting the 56, and he and I were talking, and kind of thinking about opening the shop back up. Yes, I have the shop up for sale, but I'll just go get another shop. It's no big deal. But I'm having so much fun building this little blue car, and you guys are really kind of digging it. Even though when we get finished with the car, guys, I'm gonna go through this list and show you what, was spent on it. Now, I have bought some stuff that wasn't necessary. I upgraded. I called Ben at Camaro Central the other day, and I ordered a houndstooth interior for it because I love that houndstooth interior. And I don't think I've ever even told anybody the story on this car. So back when I was 19, 20 years old, a real good friend of mine, Mark Horseman, had a blue 68 Camaro, about this same color blue, houndstooth interior, 4-speed car, had a small block in it, and I ended up trading him my 77Z for this car. And I had a little 408 small block in it, 4-speed, 12-bolt, 355 gear, and a lot of fun. It is a fun little old car. I used to drive that thing. I beat the balls off of it, but I kept killing the clutches in the car, and I got mad one day and put it up for sale back when the bargain post was still around. I don't know if you guys remember the bargain post, but another friend of mine calls me and said, "Hey, I got my 70 model Z28, pretty neat little car, 355, 4-speed, all that." He said, "I'll trade you it turnkey for your car rolling." And I said, "All right." So I traded him the car. Another guy calls me up from the bargain post, says, "Hey, have you sold the car?" I said, "Well, I traded it to a friend of mine, but he'd probably sell it." Rex never even got the car, and I put them two together. The guy ended up buying the car, took it straight to Oklahoma City and cut it up into a race car. So about, 12, 13 years ago, I seen this car for sale, and I went and bought it and wanted to recreate the little Camaro that I had way back then. I kicked myself in the ass after I got rid of that car and thought, man, that was stupid. But when I got this little car, it had that big block that we just sold the other day, the 454. And I put my little 421 small block in it with a 5-speed and a bottle. And I mean, all I do is just smoke the tires, but we took it to Ardmore one day, and I kept, every time I get on the bottle, it'd blow the tires off of it. Finally, I rolled that thing out, had a 5-speed in it. Finally, I rolled that thing way out there, went from second, straight into 4th gear, rest over and grabbed the bottle, and that thing went 1103 at 146, 47 mile an hour. I mean, it's a pretty cool little car. Then I put a big block 540 in it with a Pro Charger. Always been through a few changes, but I was actually building this car for Stacy at one time when I had the 540 in it, and I couldn't get her to help me. She just really wasn't interested in it, and I got kind of bummed out, and that's why the car sat the whole time, because I just jerked the motor back out of it, rolled it in the shop, and it's been sitting ever since. So the inspiration behind putting this car together was a friend of mine wanted to buy it. I put the subframe under it. You guys have heard that story, heard the other part of it. And I realize a lot of you are saying, "Oh man, the billet stuff alone on that motor." Guys, it's really not, because it's a March setup that I think brand new, the thing's only $1,800, $1,900. But when I get done with the car, I'm gonna break it down to the niceties versus the necessities. I had all the factory blue interior for it. I could have stuck that back in there. That would have saved me the money of the interior. I could have left the original subframe back, put the other subframe back in that had the TRZ control arms and stuff already on it. But I had this one. That was an upgrade. I put Sand Tough shocks on it because I know those shocks and I know how badass they work. But we're also fixing to introduce another shock company that's building some shocks for me to try right now. That's on a budget-minded deal. Might be something for you guys. Matter of fact, when we introduce them, when I get the shocks, we're going to introduce them because they even said they'd give 10% off to anybody that responded, and I got a code to buy these shocks. When I get the shocks and we try them, I'll let you guys know. I mean, we'll do the open box deal on them, but they're going to work with me on some valving, so I'm pretty excited about that. When the shocks get here, I'll kick that door wide open. So that's a little update on the Camaro real quick. And what else? I do a little modifying on the exhaust. I went and bought a Gen 2 vintage air from a friend of mine that's had it on the shelf for 4 or 5 years. So I bought it pretty cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook the AC up